Hey there, welcome to Live with the Paper Pixie. I'm Julie DiMatteo from thepaperpixie.com. This is episode 204. Welcome. Say hello as you're rolling on in and where you're watching from. And we'll get started momentarily. I'm hoping that the live stream is looking okay. Are you seeing it okay on your end? Okay. My computer is being a little glitchy today, so we're just going to go with it and hope that everything works out okay. My husband Brian is sitting next to me here. He's watching for your questions, and he'll pop those up on the screen. If for some reason I need to hop out and hop back in, the stream should still stay live, but I'm just preparing just in case I may need to do that. I probably should have rebooted my computer. You know, it's one of those things. So we are into the new July to December 2021 mini catalog and summer celebration that started yesterday, and y'all are loving both. So it's always fun to see what your favorites are and what you're ordering. Celebration is my favorite time of year, and so much so they're giving us another one this year. So celebration is from now through September 30th, and you can pick out free things for orders of $50 or $100. Just drop anything in the comments if you're seeing anything weird with the stream. So that is celebration. The mini catalog that is available now through, I think it's January 2nd or 3rd. You've got plenty of time, but some wonderful holiday products in that catalog. And I'm going to be sharing projects from the Harvest Meadow Suite. You can find that on pages 54 and 55 of the mini catalog. Let me go in here, and my host code for the month, we are in a new month. August host code is TGUZQV3H. If you've stopped by my blog yesterday or today, you'll see that it has gotten a facelift. So now you'll be able to quickly find that host code at the very top of the paperpixie.com when you're ready to place an order. And with orders of $50 or more, you get your choice of a free gift between the items on the screen here. These are all new items, except for the dimensionals from the mini catalog. I always like to give something practical, or to offer something practical as well. So that's the host code. If your order is $150 or more, don't use the host code because you're going to earn stamp and rewards on that order. And if you don't already have a demonstrator and you'd like complimentary copies of our current catalogs, you can submit a catalog request at thepaperpixie.com/Happy Meal. I've got lots of extras of the mini and the celebration and also the annual catalog, so feel free to request copies. I would love to be your demonstrator. All right, let's jump into it. I think that is it for now as far as what's happening in Stampin' Up's world. Celebration's always a really big time, so let's see, I think it's 8 or 9 different items you can choose at the $50 order level. 2 items you can choose at the $100 level. There are 3 items that are while supplies last. So if they're on your wish list, you want to make sure that you snag those sooner than later. That's the Bedazzling, that pretty glimmer paper. The sheep dies and the shaded summer dies, I think is what those are called. So let me flip the camera. I am laughing at myself because I didn't actually come up with a way. I haven't finished one of the boxes tonight, so we may do that on the fly, but we're going to be making a card and a box together. Some of you may have seen this style of box before, so I want to give a shout out to Sam Calcott from Mixed Up Craft. I love her projects, but she has shared the Lift and Reveal box, so I've Pixie-fied a version of it. Let me go ahead and flip the camera here, see if that's working. Everything seems to be working on your end.
Yeah, there is a little bit of freezing we can get now.
Okay. All right, so let me show you what we're making tonight. First, this is the card we're going to make. I think we'll do this one first. And I love this suite of products. So let me show you. This is page 54 and 55 of the mini catalog. And this is in landscape mode, so I can't show you both pages in the camera. But I love this suite of products. If you want to purchase the Suite collection, that comes with the Nature's Harvest bundle, the time-worn type embossing folder, the diamond weave ribbon, the brushed metallic adhesive dots, the cork specialty paper, and the Harvest Meadow Designer Series paper. You've got one item number here. The whole Suite collection is 101, and everything that you see on this page comes in the Suite, okay? Let's see, and that is a great suite to purchase. You can either pick one level 2 celebration item or 2 level 1s. So this is what the celebration brochure looks like. And you'll notice, I just want to point out, you want to look for these circles and it'll tell you the purchase minimum to choose the free item. So this is that Bedazzling specialty paper, free with a $50 purchase. I want to flip to the things that I want to bring your attention to so you don't miss out. The sheep dies, these are great because these are free with a $50 purchase. And then the summer shadow dies, which coordinate with the shaded summer stamp set that's in the annual catalog. So those 3 things are while supplies last. Snag them while you can. And I haven't used crumb cake in a while, and it's funny to see this up against the wood background, but we're gonna create this card first, and then this is the Lift and Reveal. I've made this in a 2x2x2 version. Wait for it. Lift and Reveal, and I'm laughing because we don't have a ton of things in the house to put into boxes. I need to replenish my stash. But we do have mini raisins boxes, and that would be a really cute kind of back to school gift. So I love how that works. Isn't that awesome? I could sit here and do this over and over and over again. On this version, I used a magnet closure. For tonight, I'm actually going to use Velcro because I think if you're going to send this to school, I would recommend Velcro over a magnet. Let's do the card first. All right. We are going to start with a half sheet of crumb cake cardstock. I've got mine cut to 4 1/4 by 11, scored in half at 5 1/2. Now, when I create cards, I always create 2 at a time because I've got all my supplies out. Might as well make multiples. So I take a full sheet of 8 1/2 by 11 and I score it on the long side at 5 1/2. And then I cut it at 4 1/4, and then magically I've got 2 card bases going. I'm going to double check and make sure that this is, yes, it's working. Awesome. Okay, so that's the card base. Let me move some things out of the way here. For the inside layer, I've got basic white that measures 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm just going to glue that down with liquid glue. I always love to put basic white on the inside. I think it takes our cards up a notch. And the other cool thing is if you don't want to adhere it first, you can write, I don't know, you're probably like me, maybe. I make mistakes all the time. So I do like to write sometimes before I adhere that basic white in there. So that's just another tip there. We'll put that on the inside. Then let's see, I've got a Calypso Coral. Now in the catalog, the colors are correct for the Harvest Meadow paper. On the back of the paper, it actually says Cajun Craze, but it should say Calypso Coral. So that is one of the coordinating colors. But this piece measures 3 3/4 by 5. I've got a piece of basic white that measures 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. And then, let's see. Oh, you're holding. Thank you. Oh, we're getting ready for product shares to arrive. It's a hot mess in here. This is the Harvest Meadow Designer Series paper, and this piece measures 1 1/4 by 3 5/8. I've got a piece of Bumblebee. I love saying Bumblebee. And this piece measures 5/8 by 3 5/8. And then I've got a scrap piece of Misty Moonlight that I'm going to die cut this awesome cone flower from. And you're going to see a little bit of embossing that happens when we die cut it. I'll show you that. So the first thing I'm going to do is stamp. We're going to be using the Nature's Harvest bundle. Let me show you what comes in it. So here's the stamp set, and I love the sentiments. They're going to be probably hard for you to read, but good luck, thank you, a reminder to never forget how much you mean to me and so many others. Sending healing thoughts, may nature's beauty bring peace to your soul. Those can be purchased bundled with the Harvest dies, and these dies in here are really, really awesome, especially for layering. I've got this one that will perfectly cut out thank you. It's a great sentiment piece. You've got this long sentiment piece that's great for this sending healing thoughts sentiment. And then we've got this great cone flower. And I just wanted to show you, I don't know if you can see the little cutouts like in the leaves and on the petals. Those are going to actually emboss the paper when we run it through the Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. So that's the stamp set. I'm going to be using Misty Moonlight and this large coneflower stamp. I think that's the coneflower, right? I think I asked that when I did my sneak peek, and I don't have a green thumb at all. My husband does, but I do not. So we're going to stamp that in Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to stamp it up to the right. I love to do my cards kind of asymmetrical, but look at the detail on that stamp. So pretty. Now it's going to dry a little bit lighter. That's looking more like Night of Navy now, but the Misty Moonlight will dry a lighter blue, or lighter than it looks when you stamp it. Actually, while I've got the ink pad out, we're going to stamp on this 5/8 strip of Bumblebee. I shoved my finger in the ink pad earlier today. It cracked me up when I was closing it. I'm like, oh, I'm glad that didn't happen on the live stream. All right, so I'm going to stamp this off to the left, and I practiced before, so I kind of know that I need to stamp it a little bit cattywampus because of the way I put it on the block. Let's hope that that works. That's crooked. We're going to flip it. That's why cardstock's two-sided. Yes, Terry, I can show you that. Let's see, did I stamp it down too far? Yes. I'm doing it this at a weird angle here. Let's do that. All right, there we go. Let's get the card made really quick, and then I will show the Designer Series paper collection. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is take our Designer Series paper that was 1 1/4 by 3 5/8. We'll just put that all the way down to the corners here. I actually, Bonnie, just run my fingers underwater. It is water-based ink, and the Misty Moonlight came right off my finger. Now I had to be quick about it, but I just did that. Or sometimes I'll just wipe it on my Simply Chamois. And if you're quick about it, then it usually rinses right off. The colors that probably don't rinse off as easily would be our reds, pinks, and purples, but my best tip for that is to wash your hair and get that ink off your fingers. That's how I do it. Just wait till the next time you shower, right? All right, so then I'm gluing that down, basically just with the liquid glue, just butting it up right to the top edge of that Designer Series paper. And then I'm gonna bring in the Simply Scored, no, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Got my S's mixed up there. And we're gonna die cut this. All right, we can use the mini on this too, but I've got my regular one, my Big Daddy, out right now. So we're just gonna line that up. No need to use a Post-it note here. We're not lining up any stamping, but I'm gonna go back and forth, I don't know, 2 or 3 times. Just wanna get a good cut and a good impression with the die. It's going to be a very subtle embossing that happens. I'll show you that up close. All right, you see that? Just a little bit of embossing. You get those veins on the leaves, the petals, and a little bit of stippling there. Really, really pretty. All right, so what I had done before, I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to glue this. I'm just going to take some liquid glue. You can also use your Stampin' Dimensionals, mini dimensionals, plus the regular size dimensionals if you wanted to pop it up. I'm just going to do a little bit of liquid glue, being real light with the glue. You can also use our adhesive sheets for this. I'm not going to go all the way down to the end of the stem because we're going to cut some of it off. That's just enough glue there. And I'm just going to put it, I don't know, a bit of an angle. Press that into place. So I've got a little bit of the stem hanging off the bottom, so I'll just take my paper snips and trim that excess off. Now we can layer this over our Calypso coral piece. Could use dimensionals for this as well, but I'm just going to use liquid glue. I love doing quick and easy cards. This stamp set and bundle make it really easy. And the colors in this paper are gorgeous. So I'll bring the paper out in just a moment. We've got one finishing touch. The brushed metallic dots. I love these. These are my favorite embellishment in the mini catalog. We've got gold, copper, and bronze. And I'm going to grab my take your pick tool first, and then I'm going to grab one of those. Put that off to the right here. And there we've got our Harvest Meadow designer series paper card. Okay, so those are the two that I made today. These will be the cards that will go out in Prize Patrol, which we'll do at the end. So there is that. Let me bring out the designer series paper for you. Now keep in mind, one of these panels I am using tonight. So I'm going to flip this so you can see the two sides. That's definitely Calypso Coral and not Cajun Craze. Beautiful, beautiful. Soft Succulent, Bumblebee, Misty Moonlight, and Crumb Cake. And Calypso Coral. Those are the colors. Really pretty wheat pattern there. Love this pattern. And then that really pretty Misty Moonlight in Calypso Coral. This would be that easy gift bag that I shared on Monday. This would be really pretty with those two patterns. So there's that. That's the Harvest Meadow Designer Series paper. Let's jump into our Lift and Reveal gift box. All right, I'm making such a mess. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna move these out of the way. All right, so we are going to start with a piece of crumb cake, and this measures 8.5 by 7. Bringing in the Simply Scored here. I'm going to score this every 2 inches. So on the 8.5 inch side, we're going to score this at 2, 4, 6, and 8. Then I'm going to rotate it clockwise, and we're going to score again at 2, 4, and 6. Okay, so that is this piece. 2, 4, 6, 8. Rotate 2, 4, 6. Okay, it was 8.5 by 7. For the inside piece, I have a piece of crumb cake that measures 5 5/8 by 3 3/4. And we're going to score this at 1 7/8 on all sides. Now when I say that, so 1 7/8, I'm going to rotate it, doing it 1 7/8 again, but that is the halfway point. So we really only need to do that 3 times, okay? So 1 7/8, 1 7/8, 1 7/8, and that's going to give you those 6 equal squares. These are all 1 7/8 inch square. All right, let's start with the bigger piece here. I am going to first fold and burnish on all the score lines. All right, let me bring in the template here. All right, so here is what I'm going to do first. I'm going to start with this panel up here at the top. I've got the 1 inch section at the top, and then we've got those 3 2-inch sections along the bottom. I'm going to turn this way because it's easier for my brain to work. I'm going to cut up that first vertical score line from the right. Okay, so we've got our 1 inch along the bottom here. Just cutting right down the middle of that score line. And then we are going to remove this whole section, and you can save this stuff for punching out or little tiny sentiments, so don't waste that cardstock. If you got longer scissors, go ahead and use those. We're going to remove that whole section like that. Then we've got our 2-inch section along the bottom. I'm just going to come in and cut up each of the vertical score lines and stop at that first horizontal. I know I'm doing something right when I get a mad face. Right out of the gate. Look at that. All right, so I've cut up each of those vertical score lines, stopped at that first horizontal. Then I'm going to remove this lower rectangle here and also miter cut. And then I'm going to miter cut here as well. Okay, like so. Now we've got a little bit of bulk in these bottom tabs, so I'm going to bring out the paper trimmer. And I've got those tabs along the bottom here. I'm going to fold this tab out of the way, and I'm going to fold back the 2nd and 4th bottom tabs. Okay, so let me show you what that looks like. I'm doing, yeah, I want to leave, last week I didn't do this right, did I? So this is what I want to cut. The 1st and the 3rd we're going to be cutting in half. So I'm folding out of the way the 2nd and 4th, okay? So I'm going to butt that up to the top here. I'm going to line up that right side at the 1-inch mark. If you like to look at these lines on the left, it's the 4th line from the cutting groove. And that is just cutting those 2 2-inch squares in half to get rid of some of the bulk. So I'm going to come in and miter cut on those shorter tabs. Like so. Get those pieces out of the way. All right, so let me show you that on the template here. Looking good. We're going to round the corners of that with the detailed trio punch. Like so. Okay, I'm going to leave that out. Well, let me just put it right here because we're going to corner round a couple pieces of designer series paper as well. All right, let's focus on this piece next, and then we're going to glue down all of our designer series papers. So I'm just going to fold and burnish on all the score lines. And then bring in that template. All right, so we've got it in landscape. I'm going to cut up each of these vertical score lines and stop at that first horizontal. Now with this piece, I recommend that you cut just inside the score line. So I'm going to cut just to the left of the score line here, like literally just to the left. So you're leaving the score line behind on that piece, but removing it from the middle piece. So then just to the right on this score line. All right, then I'm going to bring back that paper trimmer again. You can eyeball this as well, but I'm going to fold away the middle section. I'm going to line up that at the 2nd line. That is the 1/2 inch mark. We want to cut these down to 1/2 inch. So we've got something that looks like that. While we're here, let me show you on the template. Oh, and I didn't do this part. All right, I'm going to draw on this so that I can... I have my pen. I am going to cut, I was doing this template right at the last minute. We're going to cut corner to corner here like this. I will update this template whenever I do my blog posts. All right, so we're going to remove this and we're going to remove this one, okay? I will have that updated when it goes to my blog for sure. All right, so we can do that on the trimmer here, and of course I got ink all over me. Lining up that score line, or those score lines, so I'm lining up from here to there, and then we're just going to cut on the diagonal. You can do this with your scissors as well. Do the same thing over here. So we're gonna have a piece that looks like that. All right, let's get these little tabs miter cut. So now that looks like our template. Okay. All right, let's start to glue our designer series paper. See if I can figure out which pieces are which here. There we go, that's tiny. So many pieces here. Oh, here we go. All right. I have got 5 pieces of this really pretty pattern. They are 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. So I've got 5 pieces of that. Okay. Then I have 1 piece that is 7/8 by 1 7/8. 2 pieces that are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. And then 1 piece that is actually 11/16 by 11/16. That is 1/16 just smaller than 1 3/4. Nope, just small, yeah. No, just smaller than 3/4. I feel like that's not right. I think it is right though. No. We're gonna figure that out. I think that was like the last piece that I cut. It's gonna be for the triangles here. I'll get it right. All right, so with the 5 pieces, we are going to lay them out on the 4. I've got all that ink on my hand, look at that. I'm kind of making them, this is a little bit of a directional pattern, so I think you can probably see that the diamonds are going horizontally. So I'm just lining those up so all those patterns are going the same way. And then we will do liquid glue. So the kids are starting school on Monday. Cannot believe it. They've got their sneak peek tomorrow where they get to meet their teachers. Kindergarten and 3rd grade. Hard to believe. They are excited though. They're a little sad to be wrapping up their time at our daycare. Both of them have been going to that daycare since they were 16 weeks old. So we've been going there for 8 years now. So Nolan had some tears tonight because he doesn't want it to end. Like, I feel the same way, buddy. They're like our family. And I'm going to do my best to get this tutorial out for Friday, but full disclosure, my product shares are arriving via UPS tomorrow. So that's going to be my focus for a little while, to get those cut and prepped and labeled and shipped out as quick as I can. So if you don't see a blog post from me on Friday with this tutorial, you know why. You can always come back and reference this live stream until I get the blog post done and the recorded video tutorial. So I'm still going to try to get you something for Friday. If only there was 2 of me, right? All right, so I got those glued down. We're going to take this piece that was 7/8 by 1 7/8, and we're going to very carefully feed this in the detailed trio punch and get those corners rounded. Like so. And then that piece is going to glue down here. Got ink on my ruler. I think that's what happened with the ink on my hand. All right, I'm going to put this off to the side because we're going to put this together in a moment. So Barbara, I just try to very gently The key is even pressure, but gentle even pressure. So it's a great question. My suggestion is if you have like the silicone mat or a scrap piece of paper, just practice a little bit with your glue bottle and get comfortable with just the even pressure. It does take practice. I've been using it for many, many years. But yeah, if you squeeze it just a little bit too hard, then yeah, you got a mess on your hand. So I would just practice on a scrap piece of paper or the silicone mat for a little bit till you kind of get a feel. And you always want to make sure that, so I kind of use centrifugal force a little bit to get the glue down to the bottom to make sure that I've got glue at the tip when I'm ready to squeeze it. So hopefully that helps you. All right, so this piece, this is our inside mechanism. We've got our two pieces that measure 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and those are going to glue on the inside of this. So like so, okay? So I'm just going to use liquid glue. And now that I shook the glue to the end, it's coming out really fast. So it does work. There we go. Wait till you see how this goes together. It's so cool. Now I'm laughing because I think that was the right piece. Okay. And let me measure this again because, oh, I think I was looking, now my brain is playing tricks on me, but yeah, 1 and 11 16ths, 1 tick mark before 1 3/4. So this piece, you can use your paper snips or the paper trimmer, but you're going to cut diagonal to diagonal. So again, that was 1 tick mark before 1 3/4. We want this to be a little bit smaller than these pieces because we're going to be cutting it into triangles, okay? Because we're going to have those two pieces. You can either do a 1/16 of an inch smaller, or if you prefer, you can do an 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to line those up right there. This is on the outside of the box. Now I put a pair of these on the inside as well, and it was just overkill. So for this one, we're just gonna do the outside. My glue bottles, I store them upside down, Julie. I've got this 3D printed glue holder that I've got linked on my favorites page at thepaperpixie.com/favorites. I think the Etsy shop is called Cujo 3D, but I just have it sit on my surface. I never use the flat end, but I just keep it on my surface like that. So the glue is always at the tip. Now new bottles, I just store upright in a drawer. But when I'm ready to use them, they go into that holder. All right. Now this part is completely up to you depending on what you're going to put in your lift and reveal box. So I've got the raisins here. And so I'm actually going to punch 2 holes to kind of hold those in place so that they don't get out, they don't get in the way there. So I'm going to come do that hole punch now. Now I'm trying to think of some other things that would fit in here. A Ferrero Rocher or a Lindor truffle. I think you can probably fit an EOS lip balm because I think that's around just under 2 inches wide, I think, but maybe one of you knows off the top of your head. But you can put some really cute things in here. So I'm going to press that, or this is just an 1/8 of an inch hole punch, and I'm going about as far as I can without trying to muck up my paper there. There's that. I did muck up my paper a little bit. If you get a crocodile or something like that, go ahead and use it. But I'm just putting 2 holes so you can see it better there. I'm going to grab the Bumblebee gingham ribbon, which goes really well with this suite. And I'm going to feed it, I've got it sort of in this orientation, feed it through the right hole. This is how I tie bows, but because I like to tie off the spool. There we go. Okay. And I like to put that over to my left. I'm going to grab, beg, borrow, or steal here, because the other box of raisins are in the pantry. And I'm just going to put those. These are exactly 1 3/4 tall. All right. About 1 7/8. Okay. So those will fit right in there. And it's okay that that sits on top of those holes, as long as the ribbon can get around it. And we're just going to tie a bow. That'll just hold it in place. If you had sort of a lighter treat, you could just stick these on here with glue dots. I need my reverse tweezers here to hold that knot for me. I don't think your arms are long enough to hold it for me. All right, so tying a bow there, okay? It's easier to do all of this before we start to glue stuff together, because you can see I've got a little bit of leverage here to get that tied, whatever treat you're gonna put in there. And I'm gonna make my loops just as tiny as I can, not too tiny, but so those don't get in the way. Where's that? All right, so we're gonna put this guy together first. I am going to put liquid glue. We're going to start with 1 tab at a time. So liquid glue on that front side, or it's the inside of that tab. And I am actually going to, this is going to adhere to the bottom so we don't have it get in the way at all. Now I can, I've got the raisin box is actually helping to give me some leverage here. A Nerd's box would fit. That would be so cute for Halloween. Yes. Perfect idea. For with the cute Halloween designer series paper. Oh yeah, good idea. Wasn't sure if y'all were ready for Halloween yet. So I went with a fall theme because, what was it, last Thursday our air conditioner went out on the hottest day of the year in Atlanta. That was fun. It was 95 outside. So again, I'm just gluing that to the bottom because no one's really going to see the bottom. I mean, they'll see it if they really want to look, but... and so when we went to bed last Thursday night, it was 85 degrees in the house. It was a fun evening sleeping. But we needed a new capacitor, is that what it was? And a new breaker switch. So yeah, that was awesome. All right, so look at that. It's even cute just sitting the way it is here. All right, so there's that. Now let's bring our box in here. Let's put this guy together. I'm gonna fold on the second score line from the left, put liquid glue on the tab, then the first score line from the right and line those up. So this is our back, the one that's got our flap here. So I'm going to fold those big flaps out of the way. Let's fold those little half flaps in and I'll put liquid glue on them. Then liquid glue on the front flap to make sure I was doing it on the right one there. And then I just kind of give myself a flat surface here, fold the back flap, then the front flap, and then that liquid glue, we just kind of slide things into place. I kind of like to pinch on the corners and the sides. Then I'll flip it open, close my glue bottle, and press from the inside. All right, so now we've got these two pieces, okay? I'm gonna put liquid glue on the back here. I'm putting quite a bit of glue, not so much that it's just gonna completely ooze out everywhere, but I do want it to be pretty sturdy, like that. And now what we're gonna do is, I've got my box kind of laying on its back here so that this part is flat. I am going to place this in that panel. Now, this piece is 1 7/8 inch wide, and if you remember, this is 2 inches wide. So you should have about 1/16 of an inch, I don't know if you can see that, of the crumb cake lid peeking out from behind it. So just kind of slide that into place. Like so. And then I'm going to come in with my bone folder and kind of get down there in the corner behind the raisin box and just burnish that down. All right, are you ready? Watch. That's going to drop right into the box and then we can close it. How cool is that? All right, let me grab, where did I put my Velcro dots? Somewhere's over here. Brian's helping me look.
Somewhere.
You put them somewhere?
No, you threw them
Oh, I threw them somewhere. Haha. Well, let's just go with the new box. Oh, here they are. I see them. All right, so these are 5/8 of an inch thin Velcro fasteners. I've got them linked on my favorites page as well. And I sandwiched the hooks and loops together, so I've always got them ready to go. And I'm going to adhere the hook side, that's the clear side on these, to, let's turn it this way, the inside back. I got a question. Let me show you, Beth, on the on my first sample, and I hid them underneath the designer series paper, so I'll show you what that looks like. The only trick with that is you kind of want to get the magnets positioned before you put the designer series paper down, which we did when the boxes weren't put together yet. All right, so I've got my Velcro there. I'm just going to kind of press that into place. Gently, I'm going to remove those, and I just like to press on that Velcro dot to get that into place. So see, you can see that on the bottom, but that's if you open the box completely. So there's that, okay? Now on this version, Lori, let me show you. I've got, I think it's gonna be hard to see on the camera. These magnets are 1/32 of an inch in width. So I did hide that under the paper. I hid it under the front side of this and the front side of this. So I think you can hear that. So that's an option as well, okay? All right, so I'm racking my brain here to figure out how we're gonna decorate that. I might have to do that for my blog post. I'm gonna put I was debating between doing a sentiment on the top or a sentiment right in here. So I'd love to hear your ideas. I was looking at the, what are these? The encircled, it's from the Encircled in Beauty bundle, but I can't remember what the name of the dies are. But I thought this piece would be really pretty for the top. Again, it's not from the Harvest Meadow Suite, but I thought that that went pretty well with the pattern. So I will think of something. But if you have any great ideas, let me know. But I definitely wanted to show you how to make that box, and you can use your imagination and creativity to come up with your own version of it, or completely case this. So I love the idea for nerds. Those will actually be a little bit lighter than a box of raisins, but really, really cute. It's so fun, just that reveal. Now I will say, you want to try to put something in here that's not gonna be a huge, like that it doesn't stick out so much that it's gonna catch. So see how the raisin box has perfect clearance going in. And if you didn't like this flat edge, you could also round the corners. So Sam Calcott does that on hers, and it looks really pretty. She just hand cut a curve. I just like, you know, a little bit of the precision for me. That's sort of how I roll. But really, really cute lift and reveal gift box. So let me show you that naked next to the thank you card. And those are our projects for tonight. So let's get ready for Prize Patrol. Let's see. To enter into Prize Patrol, you want to leave hashtag Prize Patrol in the comments. US residents only, I just ship within the US. And make sure that you include the hashtag and no spaces, and make sure you spell it correctly to be entered to win. For tonight's winnings, I have 2 of the Forever Fern stamp set, one of my favorites. So that is what's up for grabs tonight. I'll give you a few minutes to get your entries in, and then I'll share the giveaway tool and we'll pick 2 winners. So just a couple of quick reminders. Our mini catalog has launched. Also the Expressions in Ink Designer Series paper became available today, as well as the Blackberry Beauty Designer Series paper and the Gingerbread and Peppermint Memories and More card pack and Memories and More cards and envelopes. They weren't available yesterday at catalog launch, but those are all available now. So I know we're desperately waiting for the Turtle Punch to come in, so that I believe is estimated for next week, but is it next week or the week after next? I can't remember. So anyways, we'll keep you posted. All right. let me go ahead and I need to share my screen first. Let's see, share screen. Let's work Chrome tab. Bear with me here.
Blending brushes back in.
Blending brushes, I believe, are still on the inventory status report. Or sorry, still on back order. I checked the inventory status report. All right, let me add to stream. I'm gonna flip so you can see. Oops, add to stream again. I clicked it too many times. There we go. All right, we're gonna draw for our first winner. I've got my Post-it notes ready. Here we go, winner number 1. Oh, it's going fast tonight. I love seeing your names and faces. Who's it gonna be? Congratulations, Jen Ward. All right, let me write your name down. Congratulations, Jen. Let me get that up on the screen here. To claim your Prize Patrol, Jen, you want to go to thepaperpixie.com/prizepatrol. You see it?
Pick number 2.
I'm going to pick number 2.
Before you do.
Yep. You have a question? Hold on, let me go back to see it. I have not yet, Gail. Good question. I have not had a chance to play with those yet. All right, let's draw number 2. Drum roll. Yay, Lois! I think you won a couple weeks ago. Congratulations. All right, let me write that down again. I think you need to buy a lottery ticket, girl. All right. You guys, thank you so much. Congratulations to Lois and Jen. Let me flip that camera real quick. You can go ahead and stop sharing this. Oh, as I go, I'm clicking too much. Jen and Lois, congratulations. You will be earning this stamp set, plus you'll each get tonight's card. And I'll get those in the mail probably tomorrow, okay? All right. You guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed week. Again, if you don't see a blog post from me on Friday, you know that I am working feverishly on product shares, but I'm going to do my best to get something posted on Friday for the Lift and Reveal gift box. Thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful and blessed week, and I will see you next week for episode 205. Take good care. Happy back to school, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.